Like Swami Vivekananda, when he reached the abode of Narendra, when he reached the abode of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, it's not Ramakrishna Paramahamsa went there or Narendra went to look for his guru. No, they just happened to meet. And when he saw Narendra, only one thing he asked, where were you all this time? Where were you? It is Mata Kali had made us to meet now. Because you are also ripe and I am also ready. So that the divine meeting of the Guru, right Guru with the right Shishya, is a divine happening. So a qualified Guru will be there and he will, Totapuri also. When Ramakrishna Paramahamsa became a ripe Bhakta, Totapuri came to him. Said, you are the right instrument for me to impart that knowledge. So, here when you have become fully, qualified student, the Guru of the right kind will come. And that is a divine intervention there. So here, Shrotriyo Brahmanishtascha Naiva Kamahatascha Saha Dayaluhu Deshiko Dakshaha Shishya Prashna Nivarakaha. First and foremost thing is, a guru must be able to impart the knowledge based upon what he has studied and understood. Shrotriyaha, Shrutavan, Shruti Jnanam Yasya Saha, Shrotriyaha. It is important that Vedanta should be understood with the right pramana. Pramana rahita jnanam ajnanam. See, if I am seeing a flower, a beautiful red, let us say, rose there, the color red and this color of the flower I can know only when I use my eyes. When I see it, I don't need any more of you, any one of you to tell me that it's a red flower. Do I? I know it's a red flower. Why? I'm seeing it. Pratyaksha pramana. So when to see a thing, to understand a color of a flower, I cannot use any other faculty. I cannot use the nose. I cannot use the ear. I cannot use my hand, tongue, skin. What I should use? Eyes only. Now, if I am blind and you tell me there is a red rose, what would be my understanding? First of all, what is red? Second, what is flower? I have no idea. So, if I have to see a red flower, I must use my eyes. So, what is important for any knowledge is what is the means of knowledge. What way you understand, what way you know it. This pramakaranam, pramanam, that which will be able by which you will be able to recognize, measure. Ma is to recognize or ma is to measure in Sanskrit. Pramanam. Vedantasya pramanam kim? Ajnada vishayasya pramanam kim bhavati? Unknown thing, to know it, what is a pramanam? See, pratyaksha, that's a big subject matter itself. I am not going into that. It's a pramana vichar is a very vast subject. Simply put, anything that we come to know as I know is due to some way or the other you have been told. Any jnanam you got is because of you have been told it is so. 1 plus 1, 2. Now tell me how to prove this. Prove 1 plus 1 is 2. Prove to me. How will you prove? If a child goes to the first grade or whatever, and he comes to learn 1 plus 1, 2, and comes home and says, Mom, yes, I heard that 1 plus 1 is 2, yes, from my teacher, yes. How do you prove this? Tell me how it is. That is a fact, right? 1 plus 1 is 2, that's a math. Why it is not 1 plus 1, it's not 4? So at the level of the child, it is only a paroksha jnana. Para-aksha jnana. Came from some other source. Now, if you show an apple to a child and say apple, the child looks at the form of the apple and hears the sound called apple, recognizes that this form means apple. And next day you show an orange and then say apple, you look at you. What's wrong with you now? That is not apple. Because in his mind, in the child's mind, what is apple is already recognized and established. You are following me? Now, this is called Shruti Jnanam, Shravana Jnanam. Ajnada Vishayasya Jnanam, Parokshena Bhavati. What is unknown to you will be known to you only when you hear it. All our knowledge is, some way or the other, we hear it. Even when you read a book, you are actually hearing the author. Is it not? He may not be sitting and talking to you, but what he is writing you is nothing but what he is talking to you through this. So, if in the world of objects and things, when we have learned anything, it is because of we have been told, and also over a period of time you come to recognize it by yourself also. For example, fire is hot. You tell a child. It is only an information for the child. You heard fire is hot. Now when does it become aparoksha jnana? Tell me. Aparaksha jnana. It is not anymore somebody else told me. What is that? Put your hand there. Aparoksha jnana. I know it. If tomorrow anybody else says fire is cold, no, I know it. That's a pramana. Now, paroksha become aparoksha. When it becomes experiential. A shrotriyaha is one who is not only having the paroksha jnanam, but he has become a person of aparoksha jnana. He is called shrotriyaha. That is why he become Brahmanishta. The Brahman, the Atma Tattvam or Brahma Tattvam is no more an information to him. It's a confirmed knowledge. Therefore, next one, Shrotriyo Brahmanishtascha. He has heard it from the right source to start his sadhana from his own guru, and then he had established in the truth. Not anymore as a paroksha jnana. This is known to me by myself. As Christ would say, I am that I am. Is not somebody told me. I am that I am. That's for sure. There's no doubt about this. So, therefore, Shrotriyaha Brahmanishtaha. This Brahmanishtatvam cannot happen unless you have heard it. From the right source. Because Brahman is not a knowable vastu. Indriya jnanam na. Indriya gochara vastu also is not. Buddhi gochara vastu is also not. It is not a comprehended by the intellect or known by the senses. Manasa abhina jantavyam. So then, how do we know? So Shruti is a pramana. And the Guru is the one Shrota, Vakta, sorry, he is the Vakta. He is the one who has given you the knowledge, and you, one who has gained it as a Paroksha Jnanam, out of your own personal experience, you come to understand it as your own reality. Shrotriyo Brahmanishtascha. There are scholars who might have read the Upanishad, they are only Shrotriyas, not Brahmanishtas. Some people even never read the scriptures also, they create their own clan. Nothing to do with any of the traditional knowledge. Stand upside down, you will realize God. You keep on doing that. Or breathe. Finish. Mukti. Kaisa hoga? Of course, if you... one person asked the other guy, how do you prove God is there? Can you show me God? He said, hold your breath. Then keep holding, you will realize it. Don't release it. That is the only way to know God. All sort of tamasha goes on. So, Shrotriyaha Brahmanishtacha. And the third important thing is a guru is one who is untouched by or unaffected by desire of any kind. Ne eva kama hataha, kamena na hataha. One who is not hurt or disturbed by any kind of desire in this world. I should create a huge ashram and I should become Matadipati. Or long beard, I have to go in Rudrakshmala, I have to wear a dance around. Kya काम है? काम से राम नहीं मिलेगा. Akama hataha. Nothing in this world attracts him. Because he has risen above such paltry, temporary things. Name and fame has nothing for him. No, I am not interested. So there, that as Bhagavan Krishna has put, Apuryamanam achala pradishtam samudramapa pravishanti yatvad tatvad kamayam pravishanti sarve sakama kami. So such a person is one who is calm. All desires like rivers have entered into the ocean which is remaining undisturbed. How many waters are running into the ocean? Does it rise up? So here, akamahataha, naiva kamahataschasaha. So such a person who does not have any desire, maybe a person who has learned from his own teacher in Upanishad, he has also gained the Brahmanishtatvam, but he is not ready to teach anybody. Then he cannot be a guru. Dayalu, a man of compassion, meaning ready to take up those who are still struggling in this world and lead them to the right path out of compassion. Aheduka daya sindhu, causeless compassion. The student reaches out of his own anguish about the world and what he is suffering through because of his own ignorance. There is a beautiful verse in Vivek Chudamani also. Durvara samsara davagni taptam dodu yamanam duradrishtavadaihi. I am being burned by the world of pangs of this whole worldly happenings. I am burning within, not finding solace. So that kind of a burning interest the student has, and what the teacher should do then? Appease it. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Out of absolute love for the student. Dayaluhu, a person of great compassion, daya, and Coming down to the level of the student, able to show the path. That is called Deshika. Dishati. He is able to show the final truth where he has to go. So one who is able to come down to the level, not that he is sitting on the top of the mountain, you come if you want. The student, poor thing, he is already struggling. Come down to the level of the student. Where is Krishna teaching to Arjuna? Tell me. Where? Where was he? In the same battlefield, sitting there as a charioteer for him. Think about Bhagavan become a driver. Why? Interested in the student there. Why he is not a person who is sitting there in one corner? Come on, if you want to come, I will teach you. No. He knows here is a fit student. I want to give him the right direction. Coming down to the level of the student. Dayaluhu, Deshikaha. And the most important thing is Shishya Prashna Nivaraka. He is ready to remove all the doubts and questions of a student. A guru of correct knowledge is not afraid of the questions at all. It's not that you dare ask me questions, blasphemy, that means you don't know. If you are afraid of questions, if you see all our Puranas, Mahabharata, Gita, everything in the form of conversation, right? Parvati asking Parameshwara, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, all the Puranas, Bhagavad Gita, anything you take, there is a student who has doubts and there is a teacher who is giving the correct answer. All the Upanishads also like that. Not afraid of questions. If you are afraid of questions, that means you are unprepared. You don't know. Many of the Balwaya teachers are they are having a Saturday night fever on Saturday. What these fellows will come up with, we don't know. Unprepared. So, Shishya Prashna Nivaraka, the remover of all the doubts in the mind of the student. Because doubtless knowledge alone can make you proceed further. If you still have a doubt, then from Shravana, you will not go to crossover Mananam. The very process of Mananam is Samshaya Rahita Jnanam Yasmin Abhyase Bhavati. In that very practice of Manana, where you churn what you have understood earlier, the new knowledge has come, apparently contradictory, then you keep on using the methodologies given in Vedanta, you overcome those doubts. If it cannot, ask the teacher. Nowadays, Swamiji, we have Google. Who told you that the answers that are in the Google are right answers? Authentic answers. Even before, when Gurudev was asked this question, that time Google was not there. Swamiji, I have a doubt. What is it? And nowadays, so many books are there. Why do you need gurus? Good question. Why don't you ask the book? How can you ask a book? So you need a person who can clarify those doubts. Because see, another thing is, doubt is necessary in the process of learning. Doubt is necessary. But some people are so fond of their doubts. This question I asked so many people, nobody could answer. What is it? Which came first? Chicken or the egg? So the Guru very clearly answered, whichever you ordered first. These kind of questions if you ask, then there is something wrong with you. Don't try to defeat the Guru with your questions. If you are really interested to know about the thing, then you appropriately ask the question. The teacher also is waiting for the right kind of students. That is said here in the next. Ayantu bahava shishyaha viraktascha mumukshavaha evamichan pratiksheta guru shreshtasya sarvada. Bahava shishyaha ayantu. May the right students come to me. Who should be there? Those viraktaha mukshava, men of dispassion and those who are desirous of freedom. Those who are desiring freedom. Only when you have freedom as your goal, you will have the listening ears. You want to know. If the freedom or the moksha is not your goal, only wanting to know the technicalities of Upanishad, you become a scholar. And this guru easily can identify them. This fellow is not ready for this. He's only curious intellect. Many of them have the curiosity, intellectual curiosity. But one who has preeti, devotion towards Paramatma, that's why earlier he said, Preetir Paramatmani, Paratmani, Preetir Yasya Paratmani. So that love for Bhagavan or love for the self is there. Such a person will easily gain this knowledge. Shraddhavan labate jnanam. Person of faith alone can gain this knowledge. And in Upanishad it says, na bahuna ashrutena. By listening you will not get it. Namayadaya na bahuna ashrutena. Yamayavesha vrunude tena labhyaha tasyesha ma viprunudetam. Someone who exclusively chooses it. So ayantu bahava shishyaha viraktascha mumukshavaha. Men of dispassion and desiring to become liberated. Evam icchan. In this way, one who desires, this is the only icha he has got. Earlier he said, na kama hataha. He doesn't have any desire. Only desire he has it. Let fit students come to me, to whom I can give the direction. Saha Sreshta Guru. He is the best of the teacher. Sarvada, always. Sarvada ayantu also is good. Sarvada shishyaha ayantu. In other words, the Guru is not afraid of the students. I don't know what question you will ask. Whether I know it or not. If your own experience, there cannot be any doubt. Only if it is a paroksha jnanam, you will have a doubt because it's not my experience. If it is my own experience, then I know it. And many of the teachers would say, what I don't know, I'll tell you. I don't know this. But about what I have experienced, I should have no doubt at all. And since he has also become, he was a Shrotriya to start with, he has learned the Vedanta from a fit teacher who had used the scriptures for the sake of clarity. Even the Mahatmas who have realized that they use the scriptures for clarity, meaning how to teach. It is said once Sri Ramana Maharshi was seen reading Vivek Chudamani. So one of the scholars was around, he went and asked, why are you reading Vivek Chudamani? He said, I want to know how the state that I am experiencing is explained here. And also, when the student comes, I would know in which way to teach them. Not that I do not know, but how to impart that knowledge, how to give that knowledge. The methodology of it. Not all students understand in the same way anyways, right? Each one will have their own degree of maturity to learn. But the teacher cannot decide, I will teach him this and not to that person, I will teach him that and not to that person. That doesn't happen. Same teaching alone goes. But different ways it is taught. If you look at the Upanishad, the subject matter is the same, Brahma Vidya. But you see how the treatment of the subject has been different from one Upanishad to another because The teacher understands different varieties of students, different degrees of maturity, background, and then he will give a knowledge accordingly, so that all students may not have the same way of understanding, different ways of indicating the same thing. So therefore he must be a Shrotriyaha, Brahmanishtaha, Dayaluhu, Deshikaha. That's all I said before. And also seeking for the right student to come there who can be directed properly. So we'll see next chapter also here. What is the subject matter that is to be taught here? You don't go to a guru and ask about why you did not marry. So these are unnecessary questions. Right? So you should never ask about the guru's background. Guru moolam na prichet. Guroho moolam na prichet. Don't ask, why did you become this? One boy, a Balvia student came and asked me seriously, Swamiji, yes, what was your name when you were normal? I said, what do you mean by that? Some questions are very funny. Normal? What do you mean? I'm abnormal now? Gacchasi kutra tvam mitra Gurumeva. No, we skipped one thing. Here, verse number 3 here, page number 27. Ekameva guru karyam Shishyanam syat krutartata Guru swatmani stitvaste Sarvabhuta hite rataha. Guroho ekameva karyam kartavyam. The guru has to do only one thing, finally. What? Shishyanam kritartata syat. The Shishya should finally end in fulfillment, completeness. And he should not have any more, wanting any more. The student must find the fulfillment of life. Krita artham. Kritarthata means the total fulfillment of life. Yes, whatever needs to be done, I am done. Nothing more to be done. That is called Kritarthata. Nothing more anymore for me to do in this world. Is that what is not considered as satisfaction? When you are eating food, no more when you say, that means what? Done. Full. Ice cream? Thoda jaga hai. Little more is there. Ice cream? No. Uske saath coffee bhi chahiye. In somebody's house I was there. A Gujarati lady. They are fond of feeding, you know that. And anybody Gujarati here? There's one. Who? Sorry. No? Raise your hand. Okay. No, but only for a joke's sake. No, it
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. So I went, I was staying with them. So that lady, morning we had breakfast. After that I was working on something. An hour later, she came, kuch lenge aap? Do you want to eat something? No, I just had breakfast. It's okay, I don't want anything. Fine. An hour passed, again she came. Kuch lenge? Nahi, I don't want anything. In another 2 hours I will have lunch. No, lunch ke pehle kuch lenge? Before lunch you want to take anything? I said, how? Because every hour you go on feeding, that means you didn't eat fully, right? If after eating you still hungry means what? Then there is something else you want to complete with. Similarly in this world, when you are doing something, it is incomplete, then you have to redo it. or do something else. Where is the point, or when is that point where you come to say to yourself, I am done, nothing more. Naiva kinchit asti kartavyam. There is nothing more I need to do. Meaning what? I know the end of action. Where is the end of action? Sarvam karmakilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Everything ends in knowledge. Finally, action can find its fulfillment only in knowledge. So that fulfillment is what the Guru has to make it happen in the mind of a student. Kritartada syat shishyana. That is etad ekameva guroho karyam. The Guru must make sure the student has no more seeking of anything in this world. And how does he do that? Atmanistitva. Guruhu Atmanistitva. Abiding in his own self. Aste. He continued to engage in Sarvabhutahite. Engaging in the welfare of all living beings. He is interested in the welfare of anyone and everyone who comes. Because he has that correct knowledge that Mama Atma Sarvabhutanam Atma. Myself alone is the self of all. So if I can make that person understand this, then I am done. There is nothing more demanding. Make the student feel that fulfillment. So that is what the Guru needs to do, and his qualification is that. Now it is in the form of a conversation between two friends. One who is going to ashrama to learn, the other fellow is curious. Where are you going? What is he going to do? Who is the Guru? What is he going to teach? What are you going to know out of that? It's in the form of what is self-knowledge. That will be taken up next, tomorrow. What time is that tomorrow? 10 a.m. 10 a.m. 10 to 11:30. And then evening, same time, 7 to 8:30.
Yeah.
Let us see, how many we finished now? 7, 6, 7, I think, right? 9. Finish 9? 3 plus 3. No, don't say 6. I am very unhappy about that. 3 plus 3 plus 1. Now, qualification of Guru, qualification of the student, then invocation. 7. 8. Om sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaah, sarve bhadrani